Hey everyone, you know how we love to dig into the less obvious stuff, right? The hidden gems in tech and business, that kind of thing. Well, today's deep dive, get this, takes us to Africa.
Africa.
Yeah, to the heart of a major development in, of all things, e-commerce.
You say hidden gem, you're not kidding. I mean, not many people would pick, what, Ethiopia as like the next big e-commerce hub, but it's happening.
It really is, and we've all heard about the issues, right? When we talk about e-commerce in Africa, it's usually about the challenges. I mean, I've seen reports like from institutions like NTU Singapore highlighting limited infrastructure, logistical headaches.
Yeah, and that's what I think makes this so interesting, because despite all those hurdles, Africa's e-commerce market, ripe with potential, and along comes Ethiopian Airlines to try and unlock that potential.
With a brand new facility, no less.
At Bole International Airport in Addis Ababa,
Not just any facility either. We're talking 50,000 square meters.
a cool $55 million investment.
Capacity to deal with, get this, 150,000 tons of cargo every year. But it's not just about size, is it?
You're right, you're right. This isn't some giant warehouse. We're talking about a full-on, ecosystem designed to streamline the entire e-commerce value chain.
Okay, so walk me through this because it sounds like more than bricks and mortar. What makes this facility so different?
Two words, cutting edge. We're talking cutting-edge sorting, AI-powered labeling, the whole 9 yards,
Mm.
real-time tracking, all that, working together to maximize efficiency.
Okay, so not just buzzwords then. These are real solutions to the problems that have been holding back African e-commerce.
Exactly. We're talking about tackling those logistical bottlenecks head on.
Wow, okay. I mean, that's seriously impressive. We hear about these advanced technologies all the time, but to see them actually being implemented in this context, it's pretty remarkable. They're pulling out all the stops.
And the guy driving this whole thing, the CEO of Ethiopian Airlines, Mesfin Tasso, he's made it clear what he wants. He wants Ethiopia to be the leader in e-commerce logistics for the entire continent.
That's a bold goal.
Bold, but they might just have the infrastructure to back it up.
It's interesting, though, the timing of all this. I mean, you've got major players, Alibaba, Shein. They're already there.
Setting up shop.
Yeah, which tells you something.
Oh, absolutely. These are companies that are known for their strategic thinking. They understand emerging markets. That's their bread and butter. So them being involved, it says a lot about the potential they see in this thing, in Africa's e-commerce future.
So what does that involvement actually look like? I mean, are they just using it to ship stuff, or is there something more going on here?
It's a bit of both, to be honest. On the one hand, yeah, it gives them a way in, a foot in the door of a rapidly growing market. But look a little deeper and you see it's a very deliberate move to tap into something else. Africa's potential as a manufacturing hub.
Interesting. So it's not just about making it easier for Africans to buy stuff online. It's about helping them sell to the rest of the world.
Exactly. Two-way street. Facilitate the flow of goods both into and out of Africa.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, ties in rather neatly with the African Union's Agenda 2063, doesn't it?
You've been doing your homework.
Well, a little. I mean, I know it's this big plan, right? This framework they've got for transforming the continent by, well, 2063.
Yeah, it's ambitious. All the African nations adopted it, and it's all about boosting economic growth and development.
How does this e-commerce hub play into that?
One of the big things Agenda 2063 wants is more trade within Africa itself. Intra-African trade, they call it. And right now, frankly, it's pretty low compared to other parts of the world.
Right.
And this facility, it tackles that directly, simplifying all those cross-border logistics within Africa itself.
So it's almost like it's, what, laying the foundation for a stronger African market. More interconnected, more prosperous.
Right.
Which is amazing. But you said something earlier about those cross-border logistics being simplified.
Right.
And it makes me think about all the other stuff. Like, what about customs, currency exchange? That's got to be a nightmare. Did they figure that out too?
You're hitting on the stuff this facility can't fix on its own.
Oh, okay.
Even with all this, fancy infrastructure, Tissot actually talked about this in that Lodestar article. He gave this example. So someone in, Nigeria wants to buy, say, a book from Amazon.
All right.
Even if the shipping is a breeze now, Amazon still wants dollars, right?
Right.
And a lot of people in Africa, they only have their local currency.
It's like building this incredible bridge, but then forgetting to pave the roads leading up to it.
Yeah, kind of.
So what needs to happen? How do we get those other pieces in place?
It's going to take a lot of different things happening at once, to be honest. On the money side of things, we need to see better cross-border payment systems. Like, imagine if those mobile money platforms, things like M-Pesa, if those could talk to each other better across borders.
Oh,
And customs. Ugh, don't even get me started. They need to get with the program, digitize everything, move to some kind of single window system, less paperwork, less bureaucracy, the whole bit.
sounds complicated.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, so back to the facility for a minute. Size, tech, all the strategic importance, we've covered a lot. But how does it actually work for, everyday people? How does this help a normal business owner and entrepreneur?
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Imagine, right, you're a small business owner in, I don't know, Ethiopia. You make, let's say, handcrafted jewelry, right? Beautiful stuff. But getting that out to the world, before this, forget it. Expensive, limited options, the whole 9 yards. Now, boom,
Oh.
you've got this streamlined way to ship globally.
A whole new world of customers.
Exactly.
And it's not just about reaching those global customers, right? I mean, having a logistics hub like this right there in Addis Ababa,
Uh-huh.
that's huge for businesses across Africa.
Absolutely.
Because suddenly they can ship stuff to each other much more easily, too.
You got it. And, we haven't even touched on the data side of things. We talked about all the tracking, right?
Real time and everything.
But it's more than just knowing where a package is, you see. It's about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Trade flows, what are people buying, trends in the market.
Okay, now you've got me really intrigued. So give me an example. How does that translate into something real?
So let's say this facility, it starts handling a ton of, I don't know, leather goods, handcrafted, beautiful stuff, all coming from one specific region in Ethiopia.
Okay, yeah.
That data, that tells you something, right? That's a potential gold mine right there. Now, share that with investors, policymakers, even other businesses. Suddenly, you've got targeted investment flowing into that region. Maybe a new tannery pops up. Maybe they set up artisan training programs. Who knows?
So it's like having a real-time map, not just of where stuff is going, but of where the opportunities are.
Exactly. It's joining the dots, infrastructure, information, investment, the whole shebang. And that's the kind of thing that can really shake things up.
I'm starting to see it, yeah. It's not just a logistical marvel. It's about real economic growth.
Yeah.
Fostering innovation. It's actually pretty inspiring.
It really is. And I think it challenges our assumptions a bit. We always think Silicon Valley, these big tech hubs.
Yeah.
But here's a country, often associated with agriculture, suddenly right there at the forefront of e-commerce.
Proof that progress, it can come from anywhere.
As long as you got the vision.
And the will to actually make it happen. It's like this whole thing is, cracking open the door for a whole new generation of entrepreneurs in Africa, giving them a shot at competing on a global level. I find that really exciting.
Me too, me too. And don't forget, we were talking earlier about Alibaba.
Right. And how they're actively encouraging this.
Exactly. And it's not just them, it's the ripple effect,
Yeah.
You get this kind of logistics network up and running, suddenly everyone wants a piece of the action.
Right. More global players, more investment.
More opportunities for everyone.
Like a snowball effect.
Exactly.
But we have to be realistic too, right?
Yeah.
You said earlier, there are still challenges, things they need to overcome.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What's the biggest one, do you think? What could really derail this whole thing?
Access. Plain and simple. You can have the best facility in the world, but if people can't get online to buy and sell, it doesn't matter.
Right, of course, internet access.
The internet penetration, it's still a major issue in a lot of Africa.
Right, it's like, having a fleet of delivery trucks, but no roads to drive them on?
Pretty much.
And what about the people, right?
Yeah.
Do they have the skills, the knowledge to make the most of this?
Another great point. It's not just about the physical stuff, it's about investing in people too. Digital literacy, training programs, all that.
So as incredible as this facility is, it really is just one piece of a much, much bigger puzzle, isn't it?
You got it. But that's what I love about this whole story. It's not just about warehouses or algorithms or whatever. It's about people. It's about working together, about aiming for something better together.
A more connected future.
Exactly.
Proof that even when things are tough, there's always room for ambition, for innovation, to find a way forward.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I think what we're seeing here, it's a turning point, not just for Ethiopia, but for the whole continent.
It really is.
Yeah.
So there you have it. A deep dive into this incredible e-commerce facility changing the game in Africa. The scale is impressive. The technology is mind-blowing. But I think what really struck me is the potential impact. For businesses, for entrepreneurs, it's huge.
We talked about the tech, the logistics, all that. But for me, it's a story about ambition, about what happens when people dare to think big.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time we have for today, but who knows what amazing developments are just around the corner right now. Until next time, keep your ears open, and we'll be back soon, another deep dive.